Hello there, you guys. How are you doing? Jacqueline Jax here, and guess what I'm doing? I am swatching. I'm swatching some cool new colors. Um, well, not new to me per se, but maybe new to you. So I thought you might like a little live stream while I'm in the studio kind of preparing. This is going to be for an October subscription shipment, and I just want to let you know about it because the cutoff date for receiving this really beautiful selection of colors is going to be October 10th. Or no, wait, not October 10th, September 10th. I'm going nuts. So if you like these colors and you're interested in getting shipped watercolor from me every single month, then definitely head on over to my website and go and subscribe because I have gorgeous, gorgeous colors. And I always like to, for all of my students, I always like to recommend, the ones that I use all the time and that I like the most. And I think that that is the benefit of, being part of my subscription service because it's kind of like a watercolor concierge. Isn't that what somebody called it the other day? And I think it's a really good way to describe it for sure. So this is Azo Yellow by M. Graham, PY150. I actually love it in almost every brand that I've tried. I do really love the M. Graham one. I think it's got a really gorgeous warmth to it. But there's also a Danielle Smith one that I like a lot too. This one's a lot creamier, and I think it's a lot more user-friendly than the Danielle Smith one. So I thought I would include it so that you guys could try it out. The next one is Lemon Yellow by Sennelier. Love Sennelier. So creamy, high content. They actually just changed their formula recently, and I love their formula. So you're going to see a lot of Sennelier through me. Then we have Mission Gold Yellow Orange. Mission Gold is very, very highly pigmented, and they have a really nice set available for beginners on Amazon. I think in US it's maybe under $60, and you get a bunch of colors. There are 2 watercolors and a nice palette. The palette is a split palette, which is beautiful to use, and it's actually one of my favorite palettes. I think I have one. Yes, I do. So I have this one here, and this is Mission Gold. So I do have this linked up in my Amazon store if you're interested in it. Now, I'm just warning you right now, you're going to see a messy palette because this is my messy palette, and I do like to keep it this way. I keep it just like crazy so that I have the basic colors out here, but then I let them run into each other so I can make up all these great custom colors. But I like the way it's a split palette, especially for beginners, because you have mixing areas here, and then you have this and this. So you can keep all of your greens and some blues over here, and then you can have some of the brighter blues with the pinks to make the purples. And then over on this side, you can make a lot of different oranges. I happen to love this arrangement, so I actually bought this palette from my distributor, and I have I think 3 empty ones just because I just love the palette itself. I like the split of it. There is another palette that I have purchased that's linked up in my store that's kind of similar, but the watercolor is in the lid as well as the bottom. So when you're using it, you have to be careful with this because you can see it's got like colors in the top, but I like the fact that it's got different mixing areas, and then it's got colors in the bottom, and then one big mixing area. So this is kind of similar in that you could put, all of your warms and your cools if you wanted to, or you can put blues, pinks, and yellows up here and then do a split on the bottom. And this is a really nice palette. It's a Mission Gold palette. So they're made in Korea. This one is the Bulletproof glass palette. Really recommend this one. I love the way it feels when you're mixing colors in it. So a lot of times I'll just use that as my studio palette. The next color is Aussie Red Gold, and it is, again, just luscious and gorgeous. I would say that Aussie Red Gold by Danielle Smith is really interesting because you get this like really, really bright, vivid orange, but then if you lift it back or you use it in its lightest strength, you get a really beautiful yellow. So the PY83 in there mixes with the PR101 to give you the orange, but then you can lift it back and get those really beautiful light yellow tones, you know, if you really water it down. So a little more advanced techniques used in that one to like manipulate it, but it's got a lot of really nice things. Now, if you want samples of this, I will have samples of all these colors available on my website at jackswatercolor.com. So if you're into samples and you want like dot cards or smaller amounts of paint so that you can try all the different colors, there are a few different ways that I sell it. Some of them I sell in quarter pans, and others I sell in these tins in little arranged sets. So there's like a botanical set, a landscaping set, a mixing palette, and a granulating palette, and it's got 12 samples of paint in there, all different ones, and I change them up, you know, every couple of months. So you get, even if you want to order like a botanical palette in January, it's going to be different to the botanical palette coming out 3 months later. So I think this is a great way for you to sample paint, and it's not really expensive to get it. And that's what I've come up with through my services over on jackswatercolor.com. I love watercolor. It's my thing. It's just beautiful. So this Chinese orange, gorgeous orange. In the mass tone, it's really, really deep. You can mix it for some very cool colors. Like if you want to mix this color, let me show you, with say like a green. So we'll just grab a little bit from here, and we'll take a little bit of mixing green. With that, there we go. And you're gonna get some really, really beautiful like olive shades to earthy tone shades. So see, you wouldn't think you could mix orange and get an actual shade, right? You would think you would have to go yellow, but no, this is beautiful. So can you imagine how interesting a landscape would be if you were mixing Chinese orange by Sennelier with like either more yellows or different greens, and depending on the brightness of the green or the shade of the green, that's going to manipulate this beautiful tone that you're going to get. So I really love that color, even though it is a 3. It's a triple pigment. So it's made with PR209, PY150, and PBR23, meaning that you don't want to mix it with another color that has 3 or 4 colors in it, right? You want to mix it with something that's a single pigment. So I would either mix it with like Viridian or one of these PG7s, you know, because then you get all of these different beautiful shades of green. And you can also add a little phthalo to it. If you add a little phthalo to it, it will cut it so that you don't get any muddiness. So if ever you're mixing colors and you get lost and your muddy mixes start to come up, then just add a little phthalo green or phthalo blue, and you will see that you will save your paint. You won't have to throw it out. You'll save a painting too, and you'll find that they will really produce some interesting looking shades. This next one is by M. Graham, and again, so gorgeous, so creamy, re-wets beautifully. I am making this available in quarter pans and available in my sets. Now remember, this is all professional grade watercolor in these things. So if you get them and they're a little bit, you know, still a little juicy, you just put them in the freezer for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then remove the paper that is keeping them all in place, because otherwise, you know, you'll end up with like this stickiness. Like for instance, if you get one of these or just even a pan, there'll be a sheet over it. So put it in the freezer for 10 minutes and then peel it back, and it will be fine, because the honey needs to kind of like solidify. Otherwise, the re-wetting agent and the thing that makes them flow so much is going to give you a little bit of a hard time when you first try to take the wrapper off. But that's what we must put up with this kind of gorgeousness. So Burnt Sienna by Mission Gold is my next one. I'm almost done here, right? We're going to do the reds a little bit later in the week, because I've got some gorgeous reds and pinks coming in this actual same shipment for October, but look at that. One of my favorite burnt siennas. I think it flows so nicely, and in the lighter tone of this, it has one of my favorite yellows, which is PY 150. So you can kind of see that coming through. This is a fun color to use and mix with. And I know it's not a single pigment burnt sienna, but I really love painting with this one. Actually, I think that's available in that Mission Gold set as well. Hi there. How are you guys? What are you doing? Hope you're having a good day. Wait, that's the same one. Burnt sienna. Let's look at burnt umber. Just a couple left, guys, for you to take a look at. Aren't these great colors for October? They're gorgeous, right? They're so gorgeous. I agonize over which ones to send you guys. I mean, seriously, I'm like, oh, I want you to be so happy with it. And I know I'm happy with them, but listen, I'm happy with in my studio with about 300 different colors. So I have a lot of paint to choose from. And I have an intimate relationship with each one of them. Now that is a burnt umber that you want to write home about. I'm not a big brown person. I like my browns to be something special. And I think that this burnt sienna and this burnt umber are really special. And that's why I included them in the oranges, because you got two neat yellows, but then you got this nice selection of oranges to choose from that do different things. Now, when you receive the shipment, you're going to get a mixing card. And on the mixing card, you paint one color here, and then you start to play with the ratio of mix on here. And that's what the mixing card is for. You have like 4 little places to do it. And then also, I have a painting challenge coming. So in the shipment, you'll receive a line drawing from me on watercolor paper that you can use your samples to paint. And then you go over to the group page and you share what you painted. And when you share what you painted, we're going to select a winner and you will get some really nifty paint and prizes in your next watercolor shipment for the monthly subscribership. And listen, if you watched the last video, then you know people are sending me all kinds of stuff to send to you guys. So it is going to be like just glorious, glorious days on the subscription box. I must have about, I would say, 25 shipments coming in of merchandise from different brands and different watercolor companies that have pleasurably jumped on board. Really excited to get in your eye line and to just share their products, you know, to see if there's anything you might like. And I'm presently surprised. I mean, a lot of them I said, you know, listen, like if you have inexpensive items, then be sure to like include really, really good quality inexpensive items, because you're going to be sitting next to professional items. So we don't want them to be not really good quality. But I'll tell you, Grabby really, really did it. They did a great job in shipping us some things that were really high quality and that I just loved. So this last one here is Volcano Orange. This is right now currently available on my website, so you can get a half pan and a quarter pan of it. Volcano Orange and Tundra Orange, beautiful. Okay, so those are the oranges and yellows. Now these, a selection of these are going to go out in the regular subscription in October. All of these are going to go out to the Duo subscription. So if you are in the second level of subscriptions, which I think is just like $16 more, then you're going to get all of these and also all of these reds that I haven't even swatched yet. And that is going to be a really, really fun thing to open for sure, right? As well as if you're signing up this week for the Duo, you get a free gift from Schminke. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so the gift coming from Schminke is actually one of their glimmers. I love these, and thank you to Paint Spot for helping us get this transaction going. This was a really, really tough thing to get because these are special new releases that are only going to be available at Christmas time, and I got them first. So I have a ton of these. So everybody signing up for the Duo is going to get this beautiful shimmering gold color. It's a quarter pan from Schminke, and this is a limited edition. It is beautiful. There are also other colors that I will put up on the website if you want to purchase them, but oh my God, you're going to get that one. All right. That's it for me for now. I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. I hope you guys are having a great time out there and painting well. If you haven't joined the Facebook group page, I will link it on YouTube in the description box, as well as a way to sign up for the subscription if you do want to get all these paints and sample them out and see what they're like. And don't forget, you can always just go over to my website if you don't want to do the subscription and just purchase sample paints. As the month rolls on, I'll have some different themed dot cards as well as quarter pan sets that you guys can get, and it's going to be really fun. You got your package today. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I'm so excited. Please definitely share it with us on Facebook. I can't wait to see how it arrived and make sure that everything was there and that you're really happy with it. I love to hear those stories. And listen, I always am accepting of not only compliments but critiques, because I want to make this better every single time. So if there's a dot that wasn't the right size, because I'm making even larger dots this next shipment, or if the paint wasn't your favorite, I even let you vote on paint. So there's a lot of things that are going into this, but to serve 1,000 people, which is the overall goal, we're going to have to really work together to make it as amazing as it can be. But I think we have a chance because you guys are all in it and you really stay in touch with me. So I thank you very much for that and for giving me your time and trusting me with your watercolor selections. Don't forget, I do teach, so there are watercolor courses over at JacquelineJax.com. You guys have a great day, and I will talk to you again soon.